Hey folks, so today we had to combine rhombi and squares, or else we might have ended up having our test on a Monday. I really didn't want that to happen, or we would have had our project rather due on a weird day. So we're just going to combine these two. They kind of go together, so there's not much of it's not a big deal that we do that. So with rhombi, with a rhombus, here's what makes a rhombus special. First of all, this angle, or this side, this side, this side, and this side are all the same. All right, that is a given. Also, this side is parallel to this side, and this side is parallel to this side. Angles. This angle is the same as this angle. Let's call this angle 1. This one here is going to be angle 2. It's got 2 arcs on it. This is going to be angle 3, and this is going to be angle 4. Okay, so angle 1 and angle 3 are the same. Angle 2 and angle 4 are the same. Just like in a parallelogram, though, angle 1 plus angle 2 is 180. These two equal 180. Angle 2 plus angle 3 equal 180. These equal 180. Angle 3 plus angle 4 equals 180. These two, and finally angle 4 plus angle 1 equals 180. All right, so that is all the stuff about the outside of a rhombus. Let's talk about the inside of the rhombus. A few things happen here. One thing in particular happens which allows us to ask all sorts of one type of question y'all hate so very much. So just like in a parallelogram, in a regular old parallelogram, this segment here is going to be the same as this segment here. This segment here will be the same as this segment here. But two new things happen. Okay. First of all, this diagonal here bisects this angle. And what happens is these two angles are the same, but since this angle is the same as that angle, these two angles, all 4 of these angles are the same. And all 4 of these angles, those two and those two angles, are the same. Finally, the last thing that we know about this is we know that when the diagonals intersect, we get a right angle. That does not happen on a rectangle, does not happen on a regular old parallelogram, but it does happen on a rhombus. Okay, so we've got a couple problems here to work out. One of them's a doozy, because I did it just a minute ago to make sure I had all the answers down, and it's a fun one. So when you draw a rhombus, you're supposed to have all the sides the same length. You know, as long as it looks somewhat the same, you'll be okay. See, that's horrible, but I'm just going to go with it. That's A, B, C, D. It says the diagonals intersect at E. So I'm going to draw my diagonals in. That's going to be E. Now it says angle ABC is 46 degrees. ABC, this whole thing is 46 degrees. What is the measure of angle BAC? That would be this angle. Just that part right there. That's all we're looking for. So here's what we know. There's actually a few ways to do this. I could say that 46 and this entire angle here equal 180. And I could then figure out what the whole angle is and then cut that in half. Or, because I know this is a right angle, and if that's 46, I know that each one of these has to be 23. Since that's 23 and that's 90, I could subtract those. See, let me mark out everything we don't need now. So we don't need any of this stuff now. All we need is this triangle. This is 180, this triangle is. So if that's 23 and that's 90, if I took 180 minus 23 minus 90, I'd be left with the answer, which is 67. Sorry, I was going to put the degree sign and I kind of messed that up. 67 degrees. Got it? All right. The next one is a tough one. This is the type of problem I was telling you that we get to ask you because we know that there's a right angle in the middle. So if we have this parallel, or excuse me, this rhombus, and we have these diagonals drawn, there's a right angle there. All right, so QS, excuse me, I should label QRST. All right, and our intersection is at point P. So this says that QS, this entire thing is 10 from here all the way to here. Okay, not quite sure how I'd mark that, but from here to here is 10. And R to T is 24. From here to here is 24. We want to know the perimeter of the entire rhombus. So here's what you got to do. Since this whole thing is 10, we know that each one of these sections is the same, which means this section would be 5 and this section would be 5. Since this whole thing is 24, and we know these two sections are the same, that means that this section here would be 12 and this section here would be 12. Now there's something we can do. Let me draw just this part. There is something we can do with the information when we know this is 12 and this is 5 with a right angle. I want to know what this is so that I can know what that is, and that is, add them all up, and that'll give me the perimeter. We got to do Pythagorean theorem. That's going to happen over the next couple of days, because with any time you have a right angle in the middle, which happens with rhombuses, squares, and kites, you're probably going to have to do Pythagorean theorem. So on this one, again, the Pythagorean theorem is a squared plus b squared equals c squared. C is always the one, if you touch the square, you're not touching C. Okay, and A and B are the other two. I just label them left to right. So this is going to be 12 squared plus 5 squared equals C squared. 12 squared is 144. 5 squared is 25. That equals C squared. Add those together, you get 169 as C squared. And the last step is always to take the square root. And so the square root of 169 is 13. So that means that this side is 13, which means all of the sides are 13. And 13 times 4 is 52. Yep, that's what I got earlier. Let's just double check. All right, so that is it for rhombus. Let's take a look at the squares real quick. Sorry, this video may run a little long. Maybe not. Squares don't take too long. So here's the thing. Everything that applies to a rectangle also applies to a square. Everything that applies to a rhombus also applies to a square. Now, there's some stuff I don't think I need to tell you. Since these are 90 degrees each, I don't think I need to tell you that this angle plus this angle equals 180, like I did up here on this. I don't think I need to go through all that. But we do need to make sure that all the sides are the same. Okay, that's what makes it a rhombus. And the 4 angles that are the same, that's what makes it a rectangle. Gets that from its rectangle. This is from the parallelogram, that this side's parallel to that side, and that side is parallel to this side. Honestly, that's pretty much it with that. With the diagonals, we even get to go one step further with the diagonals. So because it's a rectangle, this is 90 degrees. But because it's a rhombus, this diagonal cuts this angle in half, which means all of these angles are 45. 45, 45, 45, 45, 45, 45, and 45. So that's nice. We also do have a right angle here in the middle because it's a rhombus. Also, because it's a rectangle, all 4 of these are the same, just like they were on the rectangle. And that's it. There's nothing else to add about that. Okay. So on this next one, it says that ABCD is a square. That's nice and easy. Whose diagonals intersect at Z. Okay. A, B, C, D, and they intersect at Z. AZ is 4x plus 12. DB, this entire thing, is 12x minus 4. And we want to know how long CA is, this whole thing. All right, so this is only from here to here. It's half of it. It's not all the way across. And this is the whole thing, 12x minus 4. So I need 2 of these to equal that. I need to multiply this side by 2, and that will equal that. So when I distribute this, I get 8x plus 12 is 12x minus 4. I would then subtract 8x on both sides. So it would be 12 equals 12x, excuse me, 4x, my bad. 4x minus 4. I would then add 4 to both sides. So this will be 16 equals 4x. And then you divide by 4, and x is 4. Now this next question seems to always, I'm sorry, I just realized you couldn't see all that. There's the work for that one. This next one seems to come up on tests a lot, and it's basically a test to see whether or not you draw the picture or not. Because most people say, if you got to, well, what's the measure of angle SRT? Well, duh, it's got to be 90. Well, if you draw the picture, though, QRST, angle SRT, S to R to T, this line isn't there, but we need to draw it. We're talking about that angle right there, from S to R and R to T. So that angle right there is this angle right here. The answer is going to be 45 degrees. All right, so that's it for squares and rhombi. I hope that made sense. Next, we're going to talk about trapezoids, but that won't be till tomorrow night.